So today, let's get started with an exciting and trending topic all over the world, right? So it's Gen AI. Now we have been seeing the importance of Gen AI for almost all the last 2.5 years, right? And how Gen AI is able to penetrate into the industry is what we are going to discuss for today. Um, so let's get started. So first things first, you should not be surprised by seeing the content in this because all the content you would have seen about Gen AI is all on the creative aspects of Gen AI, right? But industry doesn't completely rely on the uh, creative aspects of AI. So there are things like prediction forecasting still do, right, without using Gen AI models, right? Uh, so this is the first thing to start with. So for making any prediction, let it be a regression or classification, right, or even time series forecast, still these use cases don't completely rely on Gen AI, right? Because what matters here is the precision of the algorithm, right? How good it is, how free it is from the errors, which is completely against what Gen AI is all about. Gen AI is all about creativity and novelty, right? So mistakes here and there needs to be explained to the stakeholders, right? But if you are able to use Gen AI for this task, it becomes difficult, right? Even if it creates some explainability out of it, you can't completely rely on those explanations given by Gen AI. So this is one area, right? This and one more I think we'll cover in the next slide, where Gen AI is still not able to penetrate completely in, but this insight may not hold true in future, right? At the moment, this is how the uh, trend looks like. So still, Gen AI is not into the prediction and forecasting realm, right? So to dig deep on what it is, I think most of you would have already known, right? This is about a traditional ML cycle wherein you gather data, clean it, feed it to the model, deploy the model, and generate useful insights for the business. Okay, so I'm just trying to double underline on what is all about. So the takeaway here is still Gen AI is not being completely involved in this task. So let's move on to the next slide, which is decision intelligence. This is somewhat related to the previous slide, but here, let's say a decision maker could be a CEO, or you have all this leadership in the industry, right? Even they rely on AI models, right? I'm reiterating it again. It's not Gen AI models, right? These models can be rule based, right? But these are not still Gen AI yet, right? You could design an expert system, predictive system, or reinforcement learning algorithm. These are AI as AI system, but yes, these are not completely Gen AI, right? These kind of systems help the leadership to take better informed decision. So that is the goal of decision intelligence. Still, Gen AI is not being completely used here as well, right? And you can use other aspects of AI models like you see here, right? Expert systems or predictive systems or reinforcement learning, but still Gen AI is not being much here. Now comes the interesting aspects wherein you see glimpse of Gen AI being used, right? So this was a traditional method. So you see segmentation, classification, all these were traditional ML methods, but people started using Gen AI here, right? So where so even in this system, uh, you could see Gen AI being used in the novelty aspects wherein it helps create data, right? So this is what we call as synthetic data, wherein this kind of data are created by the model, right? It's not coming out from the facts, it is created by the model. And this can complement the actual training data set you use for the model, right? So this is one area Gen AI started to penetrate slightly, but still most of the heavy lifting is done by the traditional ML models even today. Moving on to recommendation systems, I hope you all know what recommendation system is. It's all about recommending any useful content to the user. It could be application, could be YouTube, Netflix, Amazon, whatever. Even here, it can Gen A can bring in some glimpse, right? Some hope is still there for Gen A here, right? It can bring a personalized recommendation. If you know some information about the user, right? In-depth info, you can feed into the Gen AI system and you can get a better recommendation for the user instead of relying on traditional algorithms, traditional recommendation algorithms. So you see all those traditional algorithms, right? Collaborative filtering, content-based filtering, and this can be complemented with generative AI models. So that's why you see all those Gen AI score here, right? I've set it to medium, and even in segmentation classification, it is set to medium. But for the decision intelligence and prediction forecasting task, the usefulness of Gen AI is still low, right? Now let's move on to the places where Gen AI has conquered already, right? So you would have already seen ads from Coca-Cola, right? So those are most of the marketing and content generation are actually conquered by AI already, right? And you see uh, GPT-4, DALI, image generation model, text generation, or multi-models being used to generate contents. You of even see that most of the blog posts you see nowadays are generated, right? We may not know completely, but again, when it comes to factual accuracy, it's up to the user to check the facts present in the content, right? People are not going to blame Gen AI for any miscontent being produced. Still, the user is being made accountable, right? But still, Gen AI is doing a lot of heavy lifting in order to generate contents. Moving on to conversational user interface, these are chatbots. You would have seen these for almost last 8 or 10 years, right? But when they started, they were more of rule-based system. Now they later evolved into ML-based. Now they are completely adopted by Gen AI, right? So if you have the money and resource to deploy these systems, they perform awesome work compared to the traditional approaches. But they can consume a lot of resource, right? Like compute, time, and also money. But the quality of the response generated by these systems are way better than the traditional approach. Here, Gen AI has almost conquered the entire thing, but still few domain-based aspects. If Gen AI gets even more matured in terms of reachability, in terms of usability, I think more people will adopt this as well to many of the conversational user interface, right? Yeah, so that is all I had for today's uh, content. Let me know if you like this video by sharing it or putting a thumbs up. And if you think this video will be useful, please do share it with your people. I mean, whoever will find it useful. Thank you. See you later.